Now I have the pleasure of introducing you to the President and CEO of Internet2, Mr. Howard Pfeffer. Howard has over 30 years of experience in networking systems and software engineering, and is known for helping to pioneer the development of broadband internet, voice over IP, community Wi-Fi, and business services in the cable industry. Howard will now share with us how the development of the NSFnet led to the creation of Internet2. As someone with deep network infrastructure experience, Howard will appreciate this tidbit. Again, going back to the April 1998 announcement at the White House as Vice President Gore announced Abilene, he talked about how the entire Encyclopedia Britannica was 30 volumes in 1998, or about 1 gigabyte of data. When we at Internet2 announced Abilene, we were thrilled that we were moving to an environment where we could move that in 1 second. Today, the Internet2 network can do 400 to 1200 gigabytes per second, or 400 to 1200 copies of that encyclopedia set on each of the 50 plus inner city links that make up our network. Said another way, instead of 30 thick books, we can now say that Internet2 has regularly moved as many as 10 million data sets equivalent to those 30 volumes. That is a typical day of research and education in the US, just an Internet2 by itself. And tomorrow, we could easily move the entire Library of Congress, 20 petabytes of data in less than 1 day. That's 20 million copies of that 1998 set of encyclopedias. With that bit of techie, geeky information, I'll now kick it over to you, Howard.
Thank you, Anna. And as Anna said, I'm Howard Pfeffer. I'm the president and the CEO of Internet2, the National Research and Education Network, or NRAN for short, here in the US. We provide research and education institutions, high-speed networking, cloud services, security solutions, and research support. And it's truly an honor to be part of this celebration commemorating the 35th anniversary of NSFnet. Now, like many of you, I've spent my career in networking and the internet, and I really can't think of a tougher act to follow than former Vice President Al Gore, Dr. Cerf, and Dr. Jennings. Much is owed to them and all the others who pioneered the creation of NSFnet. So on behalf of Internet2, I just want to express my gratitude and appreciation for their time and participation in today's celebration. As the primary NRAN for the NSF community, Internet2 shares much with the original vision of NSFnet. Like NSFnet before, Internet2 provides a national backbone network that, along with our regional and state research and education network partners, connects U.S. universities to high-performance computing facilities, scientific instruments, federal agency networks, commercial service providers, and other research and education networks all around the world. Internet2 was founded in 1997 by 34 of the nation's leading research universities to ensure they had the advanced networking services necessary to support scientific workflows and large data transfers. The University Corporation for Advanced Internet Development, as Internet2 was originally called, brought research universities together to advance the vision behind then President Clinton's Next Generation Internet Initiative. Now, also, some of you may remember it was in April of 1998 when then Vice President Al Gore and Internet2's first Chief Executive Officer, Doug Van Houweling, jointly announced the plans for the original Internet2 network called Abilene, for what was then known as the Internet2 project. Now, over the last 25 years, we've become much more than a project. Internet2 and its network partners have evolved to meet the demands of the research and education community. A key enabler and milestone for Internet2 was funding received from the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act in 2009. This program, in a true public-private partnership, allowed Internet2 to acquire over 15,000 miles of fiber optics, enabling the development of the first joint transcontinental 100 gigabit per second network. This outstanding milestone, among others, helped realize the core vision of a national research and education network as first conceived by NSFnet. Today, we are experiencing an exponential growth in data-intensive science, fueled by the availability of new instruments, growth of scientific collaborations, and the application of data analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning across almost every discipline of research and scholarship. Along with that growth, new paradigms for research compute ecosystems that span national centers, campus clusters, commercial clouds, and distributed edge computing have emerged. To support this expanding ecosystem, Internet2 is continuing to evolve its network and services. Internet2, through community support, is now in the process of deploying its 5th generation national network infrastructure. The new network is designed to support the needs of data-intensive research, providing 400 gigabit per second software-driven networking, high-performance cloud connectivity for both researchers and universities, and will enable end-to-end solutions for the most demanding scientific applications. In addition, the new infrastructure is anticipated to reduce the current power requirements by up to 75%, a much greener infrastructure. Along with these new capabilities, network security continues to be a focus for Internet2. This includes features such as distributed denial of service attack mitigation and routing security. Internet2 has been working with its members to further the adoption of mutually agreed norms for routing security, or manners, which is a global initiative supported by the Internet Society that provides crucial fixes to reduce the most common routing threats. Now, as I think about the legacy of NSF and the impact it's had on networking, both commercially and for the research and education community, I'm reminded of that very old meme, who runs the internet? You know, the first time I heard that, the punchline was, well, nobody. And we all know that's the real answer, is that many people run the internet. And as I've spent time in the research and education community, I've realized that the many people answer doesn't really tell the whole story. The internet is a network of networks whose core design was influenced by the architectural principles developed by NSFNet. So the real story is that many people run parts of the internet collaboratively for the good of the entire internet. That spirit of collaboration exists nowhere more strongly than in the research and education community. Maybe it's just the result of a shared mission to advance research and education. But Internet2 is part of a vast research and education network ecosystem. As I mentioned before, that ecosystem includes the regional and state research and education networks, several of which predated NSFNet. And in fact, it was back in 1987, Merit Networks in Michigan, along with IBM and MCI, submitted a winning proposal to NSF to implement and operate NSFNet. Today, we work with 44 state and regional networks who play a critical role in the future of the national research and education network infrastructure. And in addition to the state and regional networks, Internet2 also collaborates, partners, and supports federal agency networks such as the Department of Energy's Energies and Science Network, ESNet, and Department of Commerce N-Wave Network for the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. And beyond the United States, we work with over 65 network partners around the world to collectively provide a global research and network environment to support global research collaborations. This includes participating in the development of standards, operating some of the global open exchange points, and providing transoceanic capacity in collaboration with international NRANs, US federal networks, and the NSF-funded International Research and Education Connections Program awardees. Now, Internet2's collaborations extend far beyond networking. The core of our collaborations is our role as a convener of the research and education community, whether that's through our over 180 working and advisory groups, when possible, face-to-face community-wide events, or through online webinars and events. We help bring together academia, government, and industry partners to collaborate on advancing research and education. With respect to services, Internet2 operates the InCommon Identity and Access Management Federation, that, along with over 70 and growing international trust federations, allows researchers to securely collaborate and share access to tools and data. InCommon also has its roots in federated identity management technology developed under the 2001 NSF Middleware Initiative. Through InCommon and its services, the Federation has proven itself critical for collaborative research. And this has certainly been highlighted during the current pandemic. Now, Internet2 has a long history of supporting the National Institute of Health, or NIH. In addition to providing NRAN connectivity to NIH, they were also one of the earliest members of InCommon. And over the last year, we've been working with NIH to expand the institutions participating in InCommon. This has been critical as global teams were emerging that needed to leverage relationships between laboratories and clinicians at multiple universities, hospitals, and institutions. Now, we all know that as with every facet of our life, the current pandemic has also impacted the research and education community. Stay-at-home orders and travel restrictions impacted physical presence at universities and research facilities. Distance learning and remote access for researchers changed traffic patterns on the research and education networks. The capability and the agility of our network, along with the strong spirit of collaboration, allowed Internet2 to quickly adapt to those changes and supports the needs of the community during these challenging times. For example, we increased peering capacity with key commercial partners such as the residential broadband providers and video conferencing services. We convened community groups to coordinate on operational preparedness and regularly updated the community on the state of the network. So even one of our most popular services, EduRoam, the global Wi-Fi roaming service for the research and education community, that, by the way, now has over 800 universities connected to thousands of other institutions worldwide, saw new uses during the pandemic. As the US operator of EduRoam, Internet2 saw that while usage declined during the stay-at-home period, campuses expanded their Wi-Fi deployments using it with EduRoam to outdoor spaces such as parking lots to allow socially distant access for students and faculty. Now, Internet2 also continues its long history of collaborating with the National Science Foundation, whether that's through support of NSF awardees, such as, for example, the Open Science Grid or the Pacific Research Platform, or as an awardee ourselves. The impact NSF has had on Internet2 continues today. In the past 2 years, we've implemented a cooperative agreement with NSF to build partnerships with commercial cloud providers to support science with new and more effective uses of cloud computing. The NSF-funded Internet2 project, Exploring Clouds for the Acceleration of Science, or ECAS, is investigating the viability of commercial clouds for a range of academic disciplines and computational science workflows. ECAS includes a collaboration with Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Platform, and 6 leading research teams to accelerate time to science, leveraging novel capabilities of cloud computing. Now, in addition to ECAS, Internet2 is playing an increasing role in the research and education community's adoption of cloud computing. We provide high-performance cloud connectivity to university members and federal agency partners, community-evaluated optimized contracts for cloud services, and in 2001, we will be piloting a cloud training program specifically focused on research workflows. Therefore, we look forward to continuing to collaborate with NSF, the community, and cloud providers as they explore the move to a national research cloud. NSF's pioneering efforts, starting with NSFNet, have helped shape and support Internet2's critical infrastructure and services for the research and education community. For that, we thank them and look forward to many more amazing innovations and discoveries.
Thank you, Howard.